What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Mike Watson, and we're back for another exclusive side episode, sequel, extra episode of the Good, the Bad, Nerdy Super Mad Brother Edition. We're in the building. I got the posse back together. If you've been with us for the last few weekends, you know I've gathered some of my friends, and we talk about these movies in the DC cinematic universe. We have done Man of Steel, which I still see as the greatest DC movie ever made. And we've done Batman v Superman. And we have been talking and wanting to talk about Wonder Woman as well. That is what we're talking about next. But we're going to squeeze Suicide Squad in. And I'm going to bring up a couple of the usual suspects. We still got people drifting in. I got new friends. Actually, wait, I'm saying that wrong. Like, they've been my friends, but they're new to the show. So, like, they're coming on for the first time. So it's not like I just went out and just made some new friends. I got friends, all right? I got friends on deck. So they're going to be helping talking about this because for the last 2 episodes, it's been a whole testosterone show, all right? It's been all guys. And if we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman, got to be fair, we got to get the ladies involved. And hopefully from this episode, more of these ladies talk about these movies with us so we get both perspectives because we're here for everybody. All right. Please follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on Twitch and Patreon. I'm doing Patreon. My Patreon ticker will be kicking right there. It should be 1, 2, 3. Boom. Patreon. Yeah. I started one of those. So be sure to check that out. So let's bring up some of these people that you know. We still got people coming in. We got one of my friends from China is going to be on here with us. Man, we're reaching. We're reaching everywhere to pull together this geekdom in a time of quarantine. And I can't wait to get this conversation. First up, Shaggy.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, Shaggy?
Doing all right. Just taking a little break from busting out pages and sketch cards and bad mouth and Batfleck, you know.
All right, well, shout out to Moana McAdams. Shout out to Amani. Shout out to Jamie. Jamie, that's my girl. We used to go to college together. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. All right, next up, we got Brad.
Pardon me. I was just reading the Actionthology. A lot of great ink work done here by Mr. Shaggy. Fantastic. I didn't even realize you were there.
Thank you.
Hey, that was a nice plug right there, everybody.
Yes, it was.
You better plug in my own shit. Come on.
Next up, we got Robert in the building. How you doing, Robert? He's rocking his DC shirt.
Yeah. So, what's good, y'all? What's good?
A little quick story about Robert and me. I just knew bringing Robert onto these shows, him and I were going to get into the biggest discussion of epic proportions and arguments because, like, about half the stuff that we like, we disagree on. And like every episode, we have agreed on all of it.
That's crazy.
Cats and dogs are getting along.
Hey, it's 2020.
It's 2020. But I know one of these movies, we're going to butt heads eventually on one of these movies. And I'm here for it. All right, so we got Robert. And next up in the regular cast, whoa, where'd he go? Ryan's not here. Oh, wait, I got this guy, the Chad.
Chad, what's good?
He's wearing the wrong shirt today.
Are we discussing Captain America 2?
No. We are absolutely discussing a little bit of Suicide Squad and then Wonder Woman. So we also got Ryan. I guess Ryan's having a little bit of some tech issues or whatnot. But as soon as he gets in, he'll be in here to join us. We're talking and chatting at the same damn time. All right. Now, I'm going to get these guys out of here because you know them. They're part of the regular crew. Let's get to the new regular crew here. Chad, get out. Robert, bye. Andy, see ya. Brad, go. Next up, representing for the ladies, we got a buddy of mine, Haley. How you doing, Haley?
Hi.
All right. Good.
How about you?
Doing great. Super excited that we're getting into this discussion. We're about to get into it. All right, Ryan's coming. He's on his way. Next up, she is an amazing cosplayer. One of the best. She is an FSK All-Star cosplayer. She's put together costumes for me. She's put together costumes for my kids. And gives the best hugs in the business. Marcy.
Hi.
How you doing? How you doing, Marcy? It's good to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so next up, let me tell you, this lady can sing, and she likes to dress up in costumes as well. She's pretty dang awesome. Mal V in the building.
Hey y'all, it's a pleasure. I'm so excited to talk about this. Like, I'm Wonder Woman out. Don't make me put on the whole rest of the outfit because I will.
All right. Yeah, Wonder Woman out, DC'd out, movie geeked them out. We about to get in. Now, my friend Brittany was there, and she lost out, so I'm trying to wait for her to connect. But she's also an amazing cosplayer. She's just an awesome person. Oh, wait. Oh, there's Ryan. So let's get Ryan in here. He probably won't be expecting. We're just gonna throw him in, and bam, Ryan is in the building now.
Yo.
Okay. Bobby, John Jennings, what's up, man? Good to have you. Brad, shout out. Randy, shout out. Jesse Noble, Zoo. All right, we got some people here watching with us. We're gonna get quickly into this discussion. Molly Simpson's in the building. All right, as soon as Brittany gets in here, we'll have her in here. We're gonna have her joining. And I think people are going to fall out and fall in. So we're just going to deal with technology. StreamYard and the internet, I don't think they're ready for this discussion that's about to happen. All right. So, all right. Oh, wait. She's connecting. Is this her? There she goes.
Yeah. It works.
It works. Maybe she That was amazing. I'm gonna take her down for a second because I don't think she was ready. I think she was just getting her internet up. All right, so I'm gonna put. Oh, he's got the pops. He's got the Wonder Woman pop. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna pull everybody down, and we're gonna start rotating this out. We're gonna talk about Suicide Squad like 15, 20 minutes tops, and then it's
Doesn't
all
even
Wonder
need
Woman.
that, Mike. Doesn't even need that, brother.
Ryan, I'm trying to be respectful. All right, hold on. Let's drop you all back. We got Ryan. We got Mossy. We got Malvi. And we got Haley. All right. Let's go. Here we go. We're at 8 people. We're going to start off with Malvi, Brittany. We're going to get Robert. We're going to get Ryan. And hold up. And we're going to get Haley. All right. So we're going to start off with this crew, this marionette of people real quick to get us started. We're going to open up with a little, what's that stuff? What do they bring? An appetizer. That's what this conversation is. This is an appetizer before we get to the main meal, the meat and potatoes of Wonder Woman. Suicide Squad. Real quick, real fast. Did you like it or not? Just real quick. Mal, did you like it or not?
Well, I rated it a C, so I guess I liked it.
Midori, did you like it or not?
I gave it a high B.
A high B?
I gave it a high B. Because because you just go in without expectation.
Okay, all right. Haley, did you like it or not?
I did like it. I did.
Okay. Robert, because I know your answer.
Sorry
Ryan.
to say I did.
Damn. Right, you're
It
not
was
allowed to
straight, you know, like
straight?
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. I didn't want let me get my money back or like let me try to return this DVD. Straight.
Oh, he got a DVD. That's dedication.
It's good when you go buy the DVD. So
It is because that's cash for money. Ryan, how you feel about it?
Trash. Trash.
Never mind. Ryan doesn't get to talk anymore. We already know his answers already. Nope.
Okay.
Think about that film.
All right.
Trash. Everything's trash.
So, wow.
Everything's trash.
I was okay with the film. It has tons of issues, but I was okay. And the reason I'm going to say I was okay with it is that Will Smith and Harley Quinn and Joker saved it for me. I enjoyed Joker.
Really?
Yeah.
I enjoyed Joker.
Joker?
Yes.
I like Leto's Joker too.
I liked Leto's Joker, but when you're comparing it to what they were basing Suicide Squad on,
Mm-hmm.
no, because Joker's presence wasn't there.
Mhm.
It
It
wasn't
was for
there.
me.
It was like the movie made it bigger than what it was supposed to
I
be, which
agree.
I didn't care.
I
I honestly did not care because you're basing it off of what was the movie? Help me out, guys. Help me out.
Which one?
The actual movie of what they were basing it off of.
Oh, I don't know. All
You
I
didn't
know is that
know?
I
no.
don't
All
know
I
that
know is
either.
that
It's
Joker.
the animated fucking
Are you talking about the Arkham?
Arc.
Well, no,
Yeah,
not
not
because that
Arkham
came out
City, but
after.
I'm talking about like the actual. Oh, hold on, I'll get it. Continue on. I'll
Yeah.
come back.
So this is why Joker. I like Joker. I did not mind Leto's version of Joker, but he had one line in there that completely stood out to me that I totally enjoyed. That no other Joker or any other villain I've ever heard say. When he's on the edge and he talks to Harley Quinn, and he says, "No, no, 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 no. Will you live for me?"
Ooh.
And he dives back in after. That line was so good. I really enjoyed that, and like that got me inside of the mentality of the Joker. And I understand Harley Quinn
Yeah.
and Deadshot were not the actual comic book versions of them. I like those versions because the actors that portrayed them, I like those actors, and they did
Yeah.
really good. Now that's me. Mal, what about you? You said you liked it. You gave it a high. You said a high C. What about it did you like?
Will Smith and Margot. Margot Robbie. Yeah, that she played Harley Quinn, the best I've ever seen of Harley Quinn, and Will Smith is Will Smith. Need I say more or less? So yeah, they were the best thing about the film and how they portrayed their characters. But I did like Leto as Joker. I did want to see more of him though. But I think also in the back of my head, I'm always comparing every single Joker to Heath Ledger, and he didn't measure up to Heath, and I don't think anybody ever will. But you just kind of always have that in the back of your head, like this is a standard, and you either exceed the standard, you meet it, or you're below it. And he just was not there. But I still enjoyed his effort, his try. And
That's
then
very
like the
valid.
whole witch thing, I
Damn it.
just the whole witch thing, I just was looking at her like, are you serious right now?
Yeah, like that whole thing was just too much to me. Like the movie
That's
for
my
me
take.
was Harley Quinn and her relationship with Joker.
Mhm.
Not enough.
That's where I had a
Yeah.
problem with it, and that's with a lot of these movies, honestly, that are basing off of comic books. It seems like you know what? Let's forget about what the comic book does, and let's just focus on the relationships. That's why that's my problem with
Mm-hmm.
the topic as far as Wonder Woman. Like you're focusing too much on the like why do we don't care. We come to watch movies that are action so we forget about our relationships and shit. God damn it. God, no. Am I the only one? Okay. All right. Fine.
All right. All right. Ryan, go ahead.
Well, let's see. Suicide Squad was done under very strict time constraints. They had a trailer company edit the whole entire film, and it shows. It shows greatly. The marketing for this film was the most misleading thing about this whole entire film. Was the marketing? They relied heavily on Joker and Harley Quinn, and that whole entire movie you may got like maybe max 10 to 15 minutes of them on screen together. You know, there was only 3 key scenes that were with them. I really had problems with the film as a whole. There's now a hashtag release the Ayer cut for Suicide Squad now, since Zack Snyder got his success for Justice League.
Yeah.
So, like, it would be really nice to see an Ayer cut of that film, because Joker primarily is throughout the whole entire film. Even Ayer said of himself that the primary villain was the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to cut that whole entire plot line out and make a plot about some demon entrances. I know. I mean, like, I get it, but like, we just have another bubble in the sky, and we have to kill them with gods and just stupid stuff, and it just fell flat. That whole entire third act of that film was egregious. It's pointless. It was terrible, and like, the only thing that is good about that film that spawned Harley Quinn's own film was Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, and Will Smith. If they weren't in it, if they were not in that film, that film would have been trash. It still is trash. It's just been a lot more garbage. Just a lot more garbage.
Yeah.
You know? And like, it felt disconnected in a way. You know, you only get like one snippet of how it correlates with the DC universe. I mean, it's not a good movie, unfortunately. And I just wish it had the opportunity to be good, because there's a lot of potential there. There's a lot of potential. There's snippets of potential in that film. It just didn't work, unfortunately.
Okay. Robert, how about you?
It's watchable to me. I mean, I did like Jared Leto's Joker, and like the whole, like, these people, other than Diablo, none of these people really have superpowers, and they're pretty much going up against like Darkseid, who happens to be like a belly dancer, but also from like Mesopotamia or like ancient Mayan. But like, I've watched it the first time, and I watched it like maybe 2 or 3 times since. Like, it's okay, and even though if there's a release the air cut, I promise it's probably not going to get half the traction that the Zack Snyder cut would. But like, I don't know what else to say about it. It's watchable.
Okay. And Haley, what are your thoughts on the film?
So, like, I liked it. It was different. It was campy. But I also agree that like the whole Enchantress storyline and everything was just kind of I did like the twist that they put on Harley Quinn and the Joker's relationship. And I definitely think that Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is what made the movie anything to watch.
Okay. All right. I didn't like the witch thing either. That I just thought it got carried away. All right. We got a new setup in here. So I'm gonna pull down Haley. Oh, wait. We got Alyssa. So she's back now. Hi Alyssa. Alyssa is a future comic book creator. She'll be bringing out her book through Freestyle Comics. It's called Taijutsu Gates. We are working with her writer and her editor, Shaggy, on her book right now.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So, Alyssa, what did you think of Suicide Squad? Did you like it? Why or why not?
I did not like it. I'm sorry. It's just I always hear the concept of, like, for example, Marvel animations are not that great, but their movies are great. And when it comes to DC, their movies aren't great, but their animation series are great. So, but for me, I didn't like the Suicide Squad movie, but I did like their animation movie.
Okay. Yeah, and the animation is kind of good without question. All right, so we got the chat, we got Marcy, we got Shaggy, and we got Brad. All right, wait, let me get. Brittany found out what the name of the movie was that this is based off of. So give me 1 second. Brittany, what's the name of that movie?
I'm sorry. All right, Suicide Squad paid to Hell to Pay, animated.
Yes. Yeah,
sorry, I literally was going to burn my freaking head if I didn't get this right. So yeah, just like Liz just said, as far as like the animations being better than the actual live actions, I think no one knew of the animated series or of the animated movie that it was supposed to be based off of. Enchantress never was there. Okay, again, Joker had a part in it, but he wasn't blown up into it.
Well, she wasn't really there in this movie either.
True. And again, my expectations going into these movies now are so fucking low. It's so bad. So you just accept more to where you're like, nah, they messed up. Who would have thought, right?
Who would have
So
thought?
like, yeah. So going into it, I'm like, they're probably gonna like not follow what the animated series did at all, and they didn't. They didn't highlight they did like small like tidbit like hints of Harley Quinn and Deadshot's relationship, but they didn't go in it like they should have. Joker didn't piss off Harley Quinn like he was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
They were focusing, like we said earlier, on the relationship. So
I agree with you about the relationship part. Like, I don't care about that part of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Marcy, you're so nice, though. I've met you.
She's so nice, but she has to love it.
But still.
But she doesn't care.
She's such a nice, caring person in real life, and in the movies, I don't care about relationships. All right, so let's go right over to Marcy. So why didn't you like the film? Well, why didn't you like it?
I agree with a lot of everyone else's opinions about, like, it was, I don't know, it just felt kind of missing a lot of stuff. Like, the people that made it were definitely Harley and Deadshot. Beyond that, there wasn't anything interesting. I hated Enchantress's part. However, I do love Joel Kinnaman, so I really enjoyed that he was in the movie. But I also didn't care about the relationship. I felt it was very, very forced. And it didn't add into the situation at all. You know?
Alrighty, that's cool. I had to mute some people. We're getting some background noise or whatnot. All right, so I'm gonna pull. We got Alyssa said her Shaggy. What you got? I am unmuting you.
All right, so I enjoyed the movie, but I went into it knowing the comics and knowing to expect very low, especially after seeing Batman versus Superman. I went into it with like little to no expectations. Jared Leto is my absolute least favorite Joker out of everything. I will take that crappy one with the dreadlocks Joker from that one cartoon that like didn't last very long.
The Batman?
I'll take that Joker. Yeah, I will take that Joker over Jared Leto. Now I understand where they were coming from because the whole thing was you have this Joker has many personas. He has many different personas even in the comics. And this was to be the gangsta Joker, which, because we already got the mobster Joker. We got the homicidal maniac Joker, which was not really homicidal maniac. It was really just Victor Zsasz wearing, but way too talkative. That's the Heath Ledger Joker. We've got a wide variety of Jokers. This time we got the gangsta Joker, and so that I understand that.
Okay,
it was lame. It was lame as hell, but that's what we got.
Okay, Brad, you're up. Oh shoot, sorry. There you go, buddy. Sorry.
No problem. Great trailer, bad movie. Really suffered from a terrible villain. Cara Delevingne, whatever. Unless she is gorgeous and she can't act to save her life. She's just a bad actress, and she looked so uncomfortable. Will Smith was great. Margot Robbie was very good. They were trying to do a little bit of a Fast and Furious thing, where you had the movie they were referring to each other as family. It's like, don't do that. You're not family. You're just not. And you can't slap that term on with a bunch of assholes and expect us to be rooting for them all of a sudden. It should have been a comic book Dirty Dozen, and it just wasn't. There's scenes that are watchable, but no, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, I'll say this last thing, and then we're gonna switch. It's they're about to bring out our dinner, and it's called Wonder Woman. The bar scene with them talking and trying to unite was my absolute. I hated that part so much. I just like seriously. This is what y'all are gonna do. This is how we rally the team. This is what's gonna bring us together. Like Harley Quinn said it. We're the bad guys, and like the thing that should be bringing y'all together is that y'all just trying to get off the situation and survive right now or whatnot. But there, it could have been great. So, Chad, do you want to say something? Go ahead.
Real quick, everybody's bringing up the Joker Harley Quinn relationship. The thing that really did not get it for me is I think it's a much more interesting relationship when it's one-sided. I like Harley Quinn being in love with the Joker. I don't like the Joker being in love with Harley Quinn.
Yes.
It would have been better if instead of going to rescue her, he's going to save his own ass. Maybe if the movie would have been about them trying to go bust the Joker out, and the Joker really doesn't need her and tries to double cross her, I think that would have been a more interesting movie and relationship between the two of them.
Have you been watching the Harley Quinn?
That's all I have to say.
Have you been watching the Harley Quinn animated show?
No, I'm waiting for it to come on Sci-Fi. I'm not buying the streaming apps, man.
Yeah, it's the first season's on Sci-Fi, and they do that really well, Chad. Harley gets put in Arkham and basically is waiting a year because
I saw a couple episodes.
Yeah, and she believes that the Joker's going to be there, so it plays really well into what you're talking about.
All right, so we're about to switch off. I'm about to do the.
Way more interesting.
We're gonna switch off. I'm gonna do the roulette wheel. We are switching to main subjects here, which is Wonder Woman. So let me boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna put Mal V in. We're gonna put Brittany in. We're gonna put Alyssa in. We're gonna put Ryan in, and we're gonna bring it back with Brad. All right, so Wonder Woman. Here we go. Dinner served. The waiter has brought it out. We've all got our meal in front of us. Knives and forks, spoons, little salad forks, whatever you eat with. I eat with A1 sauce on my steak. I got it. I'm ready to go. So,
is anybody else hungry now?
For sure.
Jesus Christ, I don't need something to nosh on while we're doing this. Come on, man.
I'm building it up. So, Wonder Woman, do we like it or not? And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a fan of the Wonder Woman movie. I want to be so badly. I cheered for this film. I got 3 girls, okay? I got 3 of them. We are first in line to go see this movie. I need my daughters to see women kicking ass, flat out. I just need my daughters to see it without a man's help is what I'm looking for here. But we're going to deep dive into all that. Why and why not?
So we going deep dive.
Mal B.
Let's go. Yes.
You are, there you go. Liked it or not? What is it?
I liked it so much that not only do I have a Wonder Woman t-shirt, not only do I have a Wonder Woman bracelet, a Wonder Woman onesie, and custom Wonder Woman Hirachis.
Oh.
So, that's how much I loved it. That I've seen it multiple times, told everybody else to go see it. Was super excited for 1984 before COVID told me I can't see it.
That's fucking hilarious.
And I love, yes, I see it. But yeah, and then Gal Gadot, or however you say her last name, I might be messing it up a bit, but she was amazing and she's absolutely stunning. And I was just like, oh my gosh, power to the women. I was one of those. I was.
Nothing's wrong with it, Mal. Nothing wrong with that at all.
And then some of it I thought was just speaking just so on even a spiritual level. I just related to it even spiritually. So that was my movie. I can watch it over and over and over again. I could care less about the boyfriend, the guy in the movie. I can't remember his name. He was not of importance to me, even though he did the whole plane thing at the end. Oh yeah, well yeah, he still was a non-factor. But yeah, it was a great film.
All right, Alyssa, what are your thoughts on Wonder Woman? Did you like it or hate it? Oh, you're on mute. Hold on.
Okay, there we go. Sorry. I liked it. I liked it really good because to me, not only was she like a good actress, her background as an actress, and I wrote notes like she not only was she Miss Israel, crown Miss Israel, she's also served in the military, so she has background military as well. And as well as law. I felt that she really blended that character into the movie. This is why I liked it a lot.
All right. Shout out to Jason Wright in the building watching us. I like to shout out Jason because Jason has pretty much watched every single streaming show that we have done in a row. The man is on fire, and I appreciate his support very much. So, Jason, you are getting some free digital comics from Short Fuse Media Group because you sent me a very dope message earlier today. So I'm always going to shout you out, buddy. All right, Alyssa. Robert, you're on standby, and I'm swapping out you and Alyssa. All right. Midori, what are your thoughts? Liked it or not?
I did not like it. Sorry. Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. No. No, I was excited for it. I was rooting for it. Just because Wonder Woman has got to be one of the badass chicks of the DC, branch. But yeah, it was a letdown. It was a letdown in a series of they had so much material that they could have been that comes with the Wonder Woman character. She has so much background, so much. You have a plethora of things you guys could have really highlighted in this movie, but you chose to, once again, I don't know if Marcy's gonna agree with me, that stupid ass relationship shit. God.
Who hurt you?
Brad, I swear, I like romance. Don't get me wrong, guys.
Where did they hurt you at? Show me on Arya's part.
Like, God damn it. Like, because we all know the comic book characters, yes, they were motivated by some fucking love interest. True. But damn it, like it's not what they're all about.
Okay.
Right? It's not. That's it.
I'm gonna pass it over to Marcy.
Hi, Marcy.
Marcy, what are your thoughts? Did you like it or
I
not?
wholeheartedly agree. Like I was not a huge fan. However, I was more of a fan of this movie than I was of this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but of Captain Marvel. Just saying.
She said it.
I know we're not talking Marvel, but we're talking DC.
Right.
But I agree with Midori. Like, she's super cool. You get this background of Wonder Woman. Like, she's a strong, independent woman. And then she meets a guy, and immediately she's like, I need help.
All hell has gone loose.
Exactly. And then the last, act of the movie was absolute crap.
All right, I want it known in the records of the internet. A woman said it first, so now I am free to say it. I can't stand that movie because it is interpreted as she does not unlock her real will to fight or get her real power until she has slept with a man. Are you kidding me? If I am looking at this with my men's eyes, someone please correct me, because that's all I saw. I was like, are you kidding me? She has an auntie who has given her life for her, who has trained her with an island full of powerful women, but the one dude last week gives her the strength to take down a god. All right, I'm sorry, I'm done. Ryan, go.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I feel fine now because a woman said it first.
Let it out.
All right.
Let it out, man.
So here's the thing. You need Chris Pine in this movie.
No.
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 Do, unfortunately,
Okay,
because
okay.
she does not have any conception of the modern world of that time. You
Okay.
need that protagonist to guide her through, to get her through. Now, the love story is, I will agree with Midori and Marcy that it's a cheap trick just to influence character and character driven and give character plot to people and exposition and influences and, character development for those characters. Steve Trevor for me was just, that person to guide Gal Gadot with that relationship, that chemistry. They needed that because they had to show Gal Gadot can act and have that prowess. So they needed that character there. For me, he's not important. I honestly don't think he should even be in a sequel, but they brought him back. Blah. But in regards to that, the movie's fantastic, in my opinion. It's my second favorite DC film, by far. Minus that third act. That third act is garbage. That is a whole Zack Snyder forte of crap. Okay? And for me, it took me out of the film. There's only one good thing about that third act is when she goes through all of those things with her little, whatever the hell she's doing. But, for me, the film overall is humorous, funny, has in-depth drama, shows you the destruction of what human beings can do to each other. Mm-hmm. It teaches you that in that film. It shows you why we have evil in the world. I mean, it's not all about a woman taking charge and a woman being fierce. That is a prime example of just the first 5 minutes of that film, of the mascara and those women being powerful on their own. It is a very powerful film in regards to a woman. I agree with Mike. You don't need to get your power from a man. So I agree with that wholeheartedly. It's just overall, as a film, Patty Jenkins has showed that she's capable of making a film that can be beyond of what a film can be for femininity, power, and everything. So to me, it is a great film in that retrospect. That third act is trash.
Now, I'm not taking anything away because the movie does have very powerful moments.
Yeah.
It presents
that
a woman.
No Man's Land scene.
Yeah.
You can play that No Man's Land scene.
It's incredible.
The Wonder Woman movie right there.
It's incredible. Okay? It's not knocking it. But the trailers and the advertisement for that movie kept hitting me as a dad, take your kids to go see this movie. Right. Take your daughters to go see this movie. We're gonna give you this. We're giving you.
But Mike, that's been DC's problem. They need to fire their marketing team in general.
They need to, because I just feel like it just kills the whole idea of a woman finding her strength in a damn man.
Yeah.
If Disney's Frozen can get it right, Warner Brothers should be able to get it right.
I agree because Frozen got it from the start. Why couldn't that be Wonder Woman? You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I agree with that. But in retrospect, this is honestly my second favorite DC film. Next to Man of Steel. So
you bring up some good points though. You definitely do. It's not complete trash, but Brad, what say you?
I thought it was an okay movie with an amazing scene in the middle. The No Man's Land scene was fantastic. Mm-hmm. I can watch that over and over again. It was just brilliant. And it was like an extended brilliant scene. It wasn't just her going across the battlefield. That was awesome. But then the music hits and that great sort of guitar heavy orchestral number while she's just ripping through the town. And it was awesome. The third act, as has been stated, was garbage. I hated I really did not like the motley group of soldiers that were with her. Is like, one's a coward, one's a Frenchman, one's is like, and it seemed like, okay, everybody, that's your character, is that one thing. And then they didn't really do anything with him at the end. It's like, these guys suck. Mm-hmm. And it felt very cartoonish. They did the same thing in Captain America's movie where they had the Howling Commandos, but they felt like they had just a little bit more. They had a little bit more character, and they weren't featured as much, so they didn't bother me as much in First Avengers. I thought it was a fair movie with a great scene. I'm really looking, but it's one of those movies that is okay, but you feel like the tracks have been laid for a really good sequel. I really believe Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be awesome because I think Patty Jenkins, now that she has the confidence of DC, of the production company, they're going to let her do some cool stuff. And also, I think she knows what works now. So
Right.
it was
Well,
okay.
Mal V brought up a very good point. This is the first female-directed film that has been done of superhero movies or whatnot, which is another great moment in cinema.
Oh,
But
hold on. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. There was one other superhero movie that was directed by a woman. Nobody saw it.
What?
Punisher Warzone.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. That had a female director. So
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Women can make shitty movies just as good as men.
Warzone wasn't that bad though.
I did not know that.
It was a really gonzo movie. It was just so different from the movie before it, and also nobody gave a crap about the Punisher films at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was directed by a woman. Wasn't a big budget superhero movie, but yeah,
it's still a flagship type. It's a flagship character for a big studio. Haley, what say you?
I mean, I liked the movie. I like a lot of superhero movies, so like I'm not the most discerning when it comes to movies. I agree somewhat about the whole Diana and Steve's relationship thing, but we also have to remember that this was World War I, and so if we were getting her off of Themyscira and it was during the course of the war, it would only be a man that would have been on a plane or a boat.
Come on, Haley, pull through.
You can do it.
And then like I'm an emotional person, so when she died, like, oh my gosh, I was like, wait, we got another blue-eyed, blonde-haired Steve who rides a motorbike and is a captain and just sacrificed himself. No.
I get it. Chad, what are your thoughts?
Overhyped, overrated. Again, that battle scene was fantastic. I liked Wonder Woman's little band of Howling Commandos. I wish they would have developed them a little bit more. I would have liked to seen them in the movie more. It was way too predictable. Who didn't know that the British guy was Ares? I mean, I don't mind if something is predictable like that, but when they try to hide it, so it's like a big aha moment, that's when it pisses me off. You didn't fool anybody. It was so damn obvious it wasn't the Germans, it was going to be the Brit. And
can I interject?
That's what got to me. Another thing that Dr. How do you say her name?
Gal Gadot?
No, the scientist that made
fantastic character.
Dr. Poison.
This is a long line of the movies. They complete waste of a character, complete waste of a villain that they could have done something way more epic with. I would rather watch Suicide Squad than Wonder Woman, and I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I think she's fantastic. I think she looks the part, and DC has probably the best casting of superheroes, in my opinion, and their writing is just awful. The movie drugged for me. It was I had moments in the theater where I was sitting there and I was actually bored, and I didn't get lost in the movie. I started thinking about did I leave my lights on at home? Is the dishwasher running? And all. I was bored, and I didn't want to be. I was rooting for the movie.
All right, Shaggy, what are your thoughts? Oh, wait, you're on mute. I think you're on mute. Can't hear you.
Hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay. All right. I had my headphones plugged in so you guys wouldn't hear so much background noise. So I'm going to approach this purely as father because we've got enough nerds in here given their opinions, and I agree with a lot of you guys on a lot of what you're saying. But as a father, I absolutely love this movie, with the exception of a few scenes. The Chris Pines in the Healing Waters, that's an eye cover right there. The conversation on the boat, that's an earplugger right there. I get it. I get it. Wonder Woman from the very beginning, even in her conception from the psychologist dude who I can't think of the name of, like, there was always something very specifically sexual about Wonder Woman, but her thing is to be maternal, not overly sexualized.
Oh my
And
god.
so like the all of that can go out for me. Like, I don't need that for my girls. And my girls love that movie even when I cover their ears and cover their eyes. And by the way, like, I didn't get to say it, but that was my chief complaint about Harley in the Suicide Squad. I love Harley. Love Harley. I don't think you guys understand how big of a fan I am.
Oh, I
and
know.
to see them over sexualize her in that movie just made me want to puke.
I thought I was the only one that thought that, and somebody I got into a whole debate with somebody about that. Like, Chris Pine's goodness, yes, the man works out, the man is attractive, he's hot. I can admit that. I'm comfortable with myself. Yes, but when I'm bringing my daughters, who are all under the age of 10, except AJ, she's 12 or 12 at the time when we go to see the movie, and that scene comes up there, and people, and I complain about it. It was like, well, you don't complain about that in men superhero movies. Yes, I do. Because I'm taking my kids to see that. I'm taking them to go see superheroes saving the day, dealing with some stuff, not to see that. Or the sex jokes that were in there. I'm like, I didn't come here to see that. And I complain about them when they're in the men movies, because I take my kids to go see all superhero movies. So I wasn't expecting to see that again, and how it was promoted. Andy, thank you, because I thought I was the only one. I thought maybe I was just awkward and weird because that bothered me, taking my 3 daughters to go see it.
No, and like, I back onto the Captain Marvel thing. Like, there's a lot of problems there with the stuff that I just can't show my daughters, or at least not yet. And I'm like, like, you want to make this strong woman, strong girl power movie, but it's a movie I can't show my girls.
How old are your kids? Curious.
My oldest one just turned 12, and my youngest one will be 6 on Thanksgiving.
All right. So here we go. Robert, what say you?
So when it was first announced that Gal Gadot was going to be Wonder Woman, I'm like, talking about that chick from Fast and Furious, which I had never seen. I went to YouTube, and I'm like, nah. But then she showed up in Batman v Superman. I was like, all right. Now, as far as her movie, I enjoyed the movie. When I watch it more and more, I kind of don't like Ares being who the actor is that is Ares. I would expect him to be like this big burly dude, as like the god of war, aka maybe Kratos, something like that, but like not some like scrawny old dude who might be middle management for Shinra. But
and he played Remus Lupin.
Yeah.
Like everyone else has said, I love that no man's land scene. Like that in the beginning of the movie when she's on the mascara and seeing all them put in work and do their thing. Like, I really, really enjoyed that. And it always baffles my mind how there hasn't already been a Wonder Woman movie. Because as far as movies goes, you can kind of make that without all these special effects, because it's Wonder Woman. It's not like she's got like laser beams. Like, she flies sometimes she doesn't, but she fights really well. So you could essentially make 300, and there's another movie with Henry Cavill where he's like fighting gods. You could just insert Wonder Woman, and there you go. You got a really good movie. Like the third, like everyone's saying, the third act is. But one thing I do really, really like is kind of what the formula that Dr. Poison was making is kind of like a precursor to what Bane uses when he gets all like
Yeah.
super worded up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will break you.
Yeah. So I believe we've gone around our whole chamber of 11 people. Hopefully salvos. So here's something I want to present to you. And again, we're going to go through the rotation of the whole clock again. By the way, thank you everybody for being a part of this. We're getting some good comments and stuff. Shout out to Jason again. He says, but Steve Trevor has always been a key character in Wonder Woman comics. He was also in the 70s TV show with Linda Carter. Not having him is like having the Wonder Twins with no special monkey glee. So I understand that. That is okay. You can have Steve Trevor, but the thing is, the animated films handled Steve Trevor better than the live action one did. Steve Trevor in the animated ones, in my opinion, never took away from Wonder Woman. Yes, he has answered questions. Yes, he has guided her, but it has always been Wonder Woman leading her way. Always, and making the decisions and choices. But here's what I present to this elite league of geeks. Now, I think the whole second half of the movie ain't even needed. All right, I don't even think you need any of that. What I thought was the best part of the film was on Themyscira. We got to see such a variety of women in strength and in power and kicking butt and just owning their world. We got to see the queen who was being challenged by her sister, who takes Wonder Woman in anyway and teaches her how to fight and how to be a woman. You know what? I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see the relationship of them grow. So then when we get to the part where she actually sacrifices her life for Wonder Woman, unlike anyone else in the film, because all Steve Trevor did was lay down with her, it makes it still hurt when you lose her, but it makes more, it adds more to the loss because we got to see her grow up with her. I think a lot of people miss the point that her auntie was training her in the dark. She was disobeying the queen's orders. We could even got a nice little battle between the queen and a sister for disobeying her. And then man discovers Themyscira, and because they're chasing after Steve Trevor, they bring a fleet over to Steve Trevor. Like that first landing party is like, oh shoot, no, what is this? We all get killed. One person gets away. They bring a fleet back. That fleet is led by Ares in disguise. And then the final confrontation of the movie happens on Themyscira. And we get this huge fight between this army and the Amazonian women led by Wonder Woman. Then she says, we can't hide here anymore. I've got to go off into the world and be a spokesperson for us and see what I can do to stop Ares and his evil. There's your Wonder Woman sequel. That's what I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you think about that?
And we can bring back Ares for a sequel.
Yeah.
And I think there's sort of some flavor of a Black Panther with him bringing a Wakanda into the mainstream. So I think you could have a lot of fun in this world. And there have been plenty of comics that have told interesting stories about other groups of Amazons and the different battles they've had. And I think you could do some pretty interesting stuff. Really a problem is, aside from Cheetah, Wonder Woman does not have a great rogues gallery. So they tried to prop up Ares, which there's been a lot of disappointment. It wasn't handled particularly well. They could have done something very interesting with, okay, well, let's have an Amazon war. And you could tell some really cool stories that way. And more cool roles for cool women, which is always nice. And then you can still have the Steve Trevor character, but you're like the only guy in this world of women. And it could be that's an interesting story. That should be Steve Trevor's arc. He's a guy, he's fit, good looking guy and athletic and a good soldier, and put him in a world where it's like, he's basically like everyone's slow nephew in this world.
Yes.
That could be interesting. It's like, oh, okay, I should just shut up and follow along because I can't hold a candle to anyone here.
And so I think that would make for a better sub-story for Steve Trevor to experience that and then see, like, wow, look how amazing, like, women are. When I'm taking out of my normal world, the veil is lifted and I can see what women can actually do. And then when he carries that back over, that's something that's something that he can spread and grow with because he sees what women can do. That's, I'm just a guy who makes a small comic book called Hot Shot and Vigilance. I don't know too much. Chad, what say you?
another wasted character in the movie, and I like comedy in my movies, and it doesn't matter what movie it is. I like a splash of comedy. Steve Trevor's assistant, I forgot her name, but when I saw her in the
Edda.
I thought she had some great one-liners, and it cracked me up. And it turns out that was her only comedy in the movie, and I thought she seems like a great actress. She seems very charismatic, and again, they wasted her in the role that they put her in. They didn't give her enough of a role, I guess, in the movie. It's again, I keep saying it. DC writing is just awful and wasted.
All right. Haley, you're next.
I would have loved to see more of Themyscira, of the Amazons, get to know more about Hippolyta and Antiope.
Go ahead.
I think the name was. But I also agreed that like Edda was awesome, and it would have been so cool for her to like learn more from Diana, like see her interact more with Diana and become even more of a badass woman in our world.
Yeah. I can see potential with her character doing that, and I think they could have explored more with that or whatnot. Robert, what say you?
To make the movie a little bit different, I probably would have taken Ares out. I think that's a really, really good idea, and I like your idea of having things more on Themyscira than anything else, because we don't really get to see a lot of their politics.
Yes.
We don't really get to see how do you get more Amazonians? Like we see the story of how Zeus made them, but like how did they make themselves now that there technically aren't any gods? Like I would really have liked to have seen a lot more of that stuff. And I really like your idea of having Ares bring people back to wage war upon the Amazonians to get rid of the God Killer, because he already knew who the God Killer was.
Right.
He knew it was Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm. But like,
and that's why he let everything on in the way he did. My bad. But
no, you're fine, because like that coincides with the fact that Ares didn't know where it was. He couldn't get back to it. But if he's been hiding in the German army this whole time, and then with the one survivor comes back and says, "Oh my God, there's this place with these amazing women warriors," and Steve Trevor has the book over there or whatnot, and then Ares just initiates all that to go over there, and you get this great battle. You get the Amazonian women getting ready to prepare. We get to see their politics. We get to see how they work. We get to see how they train. We get to see the relationship between the mother and the sister or the auntie of Wonder Woman. We get to see Wonder Woman develop into a warrior there, because she's in a big battle, because they've never been in a big battle before. And we get to see Wonder Woman forged on that battlefield, and she comes out. So then when we get the next movie is the fish out of water, because she's confidently owned Themyscira, because from the presence of it, she's never been in a fight, but she's been training, and training ain't the same thing as fighting. And her mother's still trying to protect her. So how dope would that be if her mother gets to see her daughter become the warrior? She fights anyway. She disregards what her mother says and gets out there, and she's just kicking everybody's ass. And then Ares comes out like, "I'm going to destroy you." Then you get this big, amazing fight or whatnot. That's I'm sorry.
That's right though. That's right. Like that, and I think that's probably why it was a letdown for me, because that's what I went in thinking that's how they were going to approach this, because there is so much to cover of Wonder Woman, and you never know how many movies we're going to get from the franchise and all that. So I'm thinking this first Wonder Woman movie is going to be literally all about the Amazonians, her build up, her character being pretty much like, especially for you guys that are bringing your daughters to it, okay? She's starting off as a kid initially, right? A kid who literally has to be molded into the badass that she becomes. So when I got there, and I mean, again, I don't hate relationships, guys. Right? I love romance. Romance is nice, but damn, all right, like just, and that's again, that's where the disconnect from me happens, because I'm like, Marvel, I feel like they do better because yes, they change stuff, but they do initially do their research and they do kind of follow a comic book path to where it will help tie in the long run of what they're trying to do. DC, for some reason, they don't pay attention to their comic books. They're just like, you know what? Let's just use Batman or let's just use Wonder Woman, right? And just we got to change the story. We got to change we're going to change this. We're going to change, like, the comic book does the work for you. It does the costuming. It does the characters. It does, all you have to do is add maybe a little bit more dialogue because, you know, you can only fit so much in a comic book bubble of dialogue. So, like, the script is already done for you. All you have to do is, where do you want to go with this? Do you see this going for 10 years? Okay, let's map it out so it follows and it connects throughout that 10 years. That is why Marvel reigns high on this, because they go back and they be like, all right, this is what we're going to do, right? We're going to have 15 years of all of this coming together. How do we do it?
Mhm.
They take each character, and what did they do? They built upon that character. They showed the origin, and then they tied it into why it became a whole universe of badass people.
Okay.
So that's why I it was a letdown as far as Wonder Woman. I mean, Captain Marvel as well, but we're not going to go there. All right.
All right.
We're just not going to go that way.
Mal V, what say you? Oh wait, you're on mute. Mal V, what say you?
I was trying to unmute. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I loved everything about it, as you guys, know.
Uh-huh.
I did, though. The only thing I think that I like really questioned at the end of it, only thing I really cared about was the Ares thing. So if Ares is this god and he's all powerful and stuff, like, so you're fighting somebody, why are you equipping the person who's fighting you with tools to defeat you? Like, especially like once she like really learned like who she was and that she had like this strength like inside of her and she went like crazy. It's like literally like he gave her bullets to put into her gun to kill him. Maybe he was ready to die because he's been roaming the earth, for a while and just waiting for her to grow up. He got tired, so he was just like, she's going to find out eventually. I'm just going to tell her so she can end it because I'm tired. Like, I just don't know, like, any other way, like, reason he would have told her that. Like, what benefit did that get him besides his grave?
So you think he was looking for a warrior's death finally?
Man, finally, because he'd been around, for a long time. He done seen it all, nothing new under the sun, and he was just ready to go. I think, like, it's the only thing that makes sense to me. But that's really it. I really had no complaints. As for like, like young girls and stuff seeing it. Actually, it wasn't until this conversation right now that I began to like actually think about, some of the stuff that was said. Is like, yeah, that probably shouldn't have been, in a child's ear. But I also hate the fact too that even if the movie didn't place it in their ear, the world is already placing stuff like that in their ears, and so if they didn't get it from the film, they're still going to get it from their peers, Instagram, social media, Snapchat, all of that. And
absolutely.
so, and that doesn't make it okay, but it's just the unfortunate thing. So
it kind of just wasn't needed. I think that's where it lies. Like, we can have those quirky, adult jokes moments in movies, but is it needed? And I don't think this particular movie actually needed that for it to be entertaining to adults as well as children.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So now I think you have a very valid point. A right spot on the nose, and Midori, so do you. I think the main thing is how it was presented in the trailers. DC and Warner Brothers kept presenting this thing like this is the movie for your young daughter, for your tween daughter, for your teenage daughter to see women all the way around.
Mike, stop that. Stop that. Stop that right now. Stop putting so much faith in these.
I'm
telling you that.
I have no faith in them. What I'm saying is how it was presented, and I get that, and that's perfectly fine because Wonder Woman does have some amazing moments when she shatters that wall with her knee and she's just breaking everybody down. When she's doing like her being strong and confident in the alleyway, like she has moments. She does. But then when I'm like, all right, like. So I don't depend on Marvel and DC for this stuff. I make comic books and I write what I feel is or what I hope to be strong female characters in our story. Shit, Alyssa and I are working on one right now with her book with Taijutsu Gates. So I make sure my daughters are seeing those things. My kids just went through a whole 2-day binge of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and now they're ready for Korra. They are ready for Korra next. So I know the content's out there, but I'm also a fanboy. I love my Marvel. I love my DC. And when DC's presenting it on this table like this, I'm like, all right, let's go. I want to see it. But Marcy, what say you?
I definitely agree with your and everyone else's opinion about Themyscira would have been a much better place to stay at during everything. And going back to the it would have made more sense. Like we could have seen stuff that was on their island and how it worked. And I really liked your idea, Mike, of like Steve comes in and gets to see powerful women and actually understand like, oh, I don't have to be the big bad guy. And going back, or not big bad guy, but I don't have to be the big guy in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to previous comments about, yes, World War II when all this happened, and it made sense that he would have to be her liaison between her world and the modern world, but he didn't have to be a love interest for her.
Yep.
He could have just been, an associate, a friend. It didn't have to require to
friend zone,
or anything.
Well, not even that though. If they would, it goes either way though, Marcy. I like what you just said though. If they would have just picked one or the other, because I always compare it to the Man of Steel, how General Zod can come to planet Earth and he pretty much did what it took Superman to do in like 10 years to adapt to the Earth atmosphere or whatever without any help. I feel like she didn't need that big of a help to get into the real world. Okay, she didn't need that big liaison of a person to be like, this is a tree, this is a car.
Well, the main caveat to that,
she didn't need to get laid to have that happen.
She didn't.
The main caveat to that is that she openly says she knows about the world because she's
Which
read
pisses me off.
That she read all these books, that she knows about how society and how America works.
Pisses me off. Thank you.
But then when she gets over there, it's completely nothing. Alyssa, what say you? I'm about to unmute you.
Cool. I'm going along with everybody's comments now where I enjoyed the movie, but after hearing everybody what they said, I do feel like they could have done more. The only way I can think of that they can redeem themselves, maybe, if they did a sequel, is if they introduce Wonder Girl, because I can remember a little bit that Wonder Girl goes to Miniskir to get training, and she's with Wonder Woman, and you get to learn more background behind that, and as well as there's treason going on as well, if I remember those episodes. And that's the only way I can think of to redeem, like going back to Miniskir and learning more secrets behind it, more background with Amazonians, because you had to look at times online to see the background of Amazonians, how they reproduced. So it's pretty interesting.
All right. So right now, I think Ryan's the last one that needs to say something on this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that chapter. If I know everybody here may have other things to do, so if you need to bang out, that's perfectly fine. I was going to stay on and start going into the comments. So whoever wanted to stay on after Ryan finished his say, you're more than welcome to, because we got a few comments. Well, we got a lot of comments, and I would like to start getting into that because some people want to start some fights in the comments or whatnot, and I want to get into some of that. But go ahead, Ryan.
Well, the thing with origin stories in general, the film business is not kind to origin stories usually. Take a reference from the start when they jumped off with Man of Steel. Man of Steel's origin is short, just how like the mascara was short. Unfortunately, the way we're talking about movies right now sound like TV series. So this, for me, in regards to how the mascara and the jump off of that, it would be a much better television show for me to watch to get more knowledge to politics and the whole knowledge of how the Amazons work. It would be a better TV series, in my opinion. In regards to changing this film, there'll be tons of stuff I would change about this film. Everybody has made valid points, and I 100% agree with everybody and what was said tonight. I agree with Mike how it should have been just straight up Themyscira all the way, and we meet Ares at the end, much like if Zack Snyder made his Justice League movie, we would have met Darkseid at the end. You know, I feel like in things of this kind of film, unfortunately, they have to fast track everything.
Mhm.
You know, because of the fact that she was introduced in BVS. We don't want to get to know or get connected to as many characters as possible because of the fact that we have to fast track this film, and it shows. You know, Patty Jenkins did a wonderful job. You know, she was originally supposed to make Thor 2, you know, and she backed out of that film because the screenplay was garbage. You know, she got this opportunity to make a movie that is powerful, that's connected. You know, there's some things that I still don't agree with this movie. Could have been a lot better, but for off the gate, for a jump start, for her to pick this film after she had the opportunity to make Thor 2 and she denied that, I feel like this is a strong suit across the board for women, for film, and for just a movie in general. But if I would change anything about the film, I would 100% agree with Mike. I would have been a better jump off start. You know, how they located the mascara, it would have been great. But also, you know, you gotta look at it as a standpoint of an audience perspective and what audiences are going to enjoy in a film. And unfortunately, when it comes to movies like these, they gotta fast track stuff to make people connect. That's the unfortunate part about these movies.
Yeah, it is. It is. DC. In closing for this chapter, DC had a lot of stuff that they needed to try, that they felt that they needed to catch up with MCU, and if they
To
would have
make a
just taken their,
Justice League, right?
yeah, if they would have just taken their own path and stuck to it, I think we would have some better films. Now, I'm not knocking Wonder Woman completely. I was disappointed with it, but I feel like in a couple more years, Wonder Woman is going to be looked at in the same way, in the same vein that X-Men is looked at. The original X-Men movie, when that movie came out, everybody loved it. They loved it. They loved it. They loved it because we haven't had any comic movies like it before. We got Brian, what's his name?
Singer
Singer telling us, "Oh, we can't do this with a comic movie because it's a movie. We can't have colored costumes because they got to have leather." And we all bought it, we all believed it, and we all went to that movie. And for the vast majority of us, we loved it because we saw Claws, we saw Optic Blast, we saw Storm saying dumb stuff, but whatever, we took it. But if you look back at that movie now, that movie does not stand the test of time against comic movies that are out right here. I feel like Wonder Woman is the shot that needed to be made to get more female-led films out there, and we're going to get better. There, more and more movies are going to come out better, and then you're going to look at that and like, yeah, Wonder Woman's not as strong as I thought it was, but it was still a needed film, and it still has great moments in it. I do not take that away from it because my girl still lit up at the right times, and it was so wonderful to see a female kicking ass on the screen. So I'm going to dive into these comments. If any of you need to take off, I completely understand. But some people are saying some mighty feisty up in these lines out here that I am not agreeing with. I know Ryan will down here and fight with me.
I'm with you, Mike. I'm with you,
I'm
Mike.
ready.
I'm
ready. I'm ready.
Squad.
But I want to bring people up. I want to bring people up to say where they're at, their social media and stuff, if they have to bang out. Alyssa, are you able to stay with us, or you got to go?
No, I can still stick around.
Okay. Mal, how about you? Okay. Marcy, you still here, or you got to go? Hold up.
I was gonna say she's muted.
You're muted, Marcy.
She
That's
looks
a thumbs up.
All right, so let me bring Alyssa down. Let me bring Marcy down. Let me bring Mal down. Let me bring Dory down. Brad, you still with us, or you got to go, man?
I can hang out for a bit.
All right. Who am I missing? Chad, Robert.
I got no
Chad,
Mike.
Chad and Robert, can you guys hang out, or you got to go?
I'm good.
All right. Haley, you still hanging out with us, or you got to go?
Yo. Where am I? No, I can hang out.
I mean, as long as my Wi-Fi is going to work, it kicks me out every once in a while.
I can hang out.
All right. So shout out to Andy, because you guys probably didn't notice. I don't know if you did notice.
Affleck finally got him.
No, Affleck did not get him. Mike Watson got him. The studio only allows a maximum of 10 people in the studio, with 6 people on screen at the same time. And everyone has been patient and willing as I've been rotating one person on the outside of the studio so we can get all our guests in. And I appreciate him so much. He just volunteered and said, I'll take the shot, man. I'm out. I'll just stay in the comments. To those of us who are in these comments right now, Lord Jesus. Hey, number one, I respect everybody's opinion. Everybody's opinion is their own. And in my opinion, y'all saying some outlandish shit in these comments. But I digress. They're still your opinions. And we're going to talk about it. But Batflick, Till I Die.
Mike, are they starting wars right now, brother?
They starting wars, man. Y'all going to leave these Star Wars movies alone, because we talking about DC films.
We don't talk about Star Wars.
And all right, hold on. Let's see. I'm going through these bad boys. Let's see. Mike Lansing in the building, man. How you doing? All right, so we got our first comment that I can actually see on here is Mason. Oh, wait, sorry. All right, a proper shout out to Andy, creator of The Manor, business manager, and catch all for Empire Comics Labs at Andy Shaggy Cordy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, brand new editor at Freestyle Comics, my man Andy, man. Go holler at him. Go follow him. Go check him out. He does some awesome books. All right, so looks like this is the highest comment that I can see right now. Mason Easley says the over-sexualization of Harley Quinn is a crime. Yes, it is, because I really don't remember Harley Quinn in the books or in the comic books or cartoon being sexualized like that, like the way that she was or whatnot.
Yeah,
I think your sexualization comes from the video games. They've Arkham,
yeah,
and that's where it all started from. I mean, they don't even go. They don't in these movies. They don't really even go into her original costume, where she was invented from the animated series.
In Suicide Squad, it was so bad. Her butt's hanging out of her shorts, and it's like, and listen, I get it. Margot Robbie's gorgeous, and she's in great shape, but that's something that the Harley Quinn movie did a little better, where she still looks great, and she's still wearing tight clothes, but it wasn't so
forced.
Yeah, it wasn't so forced. Mm-hmm. And then she had the bit where she was handing out hairbands so the other women while fighting wouldn't have their hair in their face. It's like, yeah, I've never ever thought about this before.
Mason says yes. The dick joke in front of the pool was a bit over the top. Jason says, all right, we already talked about that one. Bobby says he really enjoyed the invisible jet. They made it so accurate. There was so I guess that's how accurate he's talking about. Jason says it's bad writing. Mason says, you crazy, Mike. The World War I atmosphere and Wonder Woman being a fish out of water was great. I disagree. I think the scene where she's crossing the battleland is wonderful. When she's she's got the shield up, she takes command. I think all that's super, super dope. And when she's kicking people and punching them in the face, beautiful. Beautiful. But it would have been so much better if the movie would have took place in Themyscira and we got to watch her character grow to be Wonder Woman and be with the Amazons, because that was so good. Besides the fact of giving those women more time on screen, because damn it, we don't have enough of that.
Well, Mike, how would you have liked it if there had been a scene where she's fighting the German army and things are getting really tight. And then at that moment, the Amazons show up. They're however they do it. And it's been done in 1,000 movies where that's when they show up. Because it wasn't just that she left the mascara. You didn't even see the Amazons again.
Yeah.
Right, it was done.
And it could have been neat to have one more scene with them showing up and they realized that she was right to go out into the man's world.
But I don't think they would have done that still anyway. Because even the only thing that would have brought them together would have been something like a dark side. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that would have taken them out of the mascara. Mm-hmm. Because they could give two shits about men. So so all these dudes killing each other, fine, I don't care. We cool, we chill on this island, we good. So I still don't think World War I would have been bad enough.
I see your point with that, Robert, because you have that in like the first 10 minutes of Justice League, the only 10 minutes of Justice League that's worth talking about. But like you do see that in that scene. Like it's only worth if something is threatening like majorly, much like Infinity War and Endgame, same concept.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the exact same concept. Like Avengers Assemble doesn't have the same impact because we got it teased in Age of Ultron. We got a tease, not the whole thing, and then we got it in Endgame when it really, really counted and mattered. So, I think I would not have minded it. I'd have been like, oh my God, yes, the Amazons are back. Yes, let's see some real fighting. Let's get them out here and do something. But then in the long run, I think it would have been wasted or whatnot. But they don't have a set plan. So Jonathan says there's some glaring double standards here, though. Sorry, fathers. Batman Returns was highly sexualized with Bats and Selina. It was still a huge family-friendly hit. Millions of kids saw it. There was innuendos and sexuality with male leads in 30 years of comic films and shows. And I agree with that.
That was also a different time. That was the 90s, and we didn't have the Me Too movement in power. That was a different time. And not to mention, Catwoman, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, had her own strength and power. It was sex appeal. That was her power, and and it made her fierce and made her a major villain in that movie. So I don't agree with that. It was just a different time, unfortunately.
And I can openly admit I didn't think like that back then.
Exactly.
I didn't have the mentality or learned the things that I've learned or was a father when Batman Returns came out. Mal V, what do you say? You're on mute.
Sorry, repeat the question.
So Jonathan's saying there's some glaring double standards here, though. Sorry, fathers. Batman Returns was highly sexualized with Bats and Selina. It was still a huge family-friendly hit. Millions of kids saw it. There was innuendos and sexuality with male leads in 30 years of comic and film shows. And we're saying, like, we're not disagreeing with that. I've complained about that, too, from the male side when I'm taking my kids to go see movies. But I was a kid then. I wasn't thinking like that. I don't know the things that I know now, especially as a father or going through the experiences that we have in today's date. So it's more like, so what do you think, Mal?
Well, that was like my most hated Batman movie. So I don't really think I have too many positive things to say about that movie. As for like just like the double standards and things of that nature, didn't really pay attention to that too much. See, I think I pay more attention to like the action scenes and the quality of the action scenes more than I do story plots sometimes, depending on the film. This one, I just was over it and really was over it when they were fighting each other and they both were like, oh, you know someone named Martha? So do I. Let's be friends.
Oh, my God.
And then,
here we go.
and then it really tanked from there. So
I agree with Ryan, though, as far as it being a different time, because now you literally have to like walk on eggshells when approaching any goddamn thing now. So I agree with that. But then to counter your thing, Mike, as far as when you were a kid, you didn't think of that. I call poppycock, all right? And The reason why it worked for Batman is because if you read the comics, if you know the background, that is how Catwoman is. And
Yeah.
that's something as a nerd, I go to these movies looking for. I've read these comics. I put too much time with these comics. So for them to be put on to the live screen, I want those actors to be who I read. That is number one. That's all you have to do. So for the Batman and Catwoman thing, they did their part. Catwoman is highly sexualized. That's her persona. That's how she gets
Right.
you. That's how she
And like
kills you.
her Mekhi Phifer version, I definitely remember that one, and I loved Mekhi Phifer.
I loved her in
not
that.
Mekhi Phifer, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer, yeah.
Yeah,
Michelle.
as Catwoman, and she definitely, thinking about it now, she definitely wasn't as
It wasn't bad.
sexualized as what's her face from Princess Diaries,
Harley.
Anna Hathaway.
Anne
Anne
Hathaway.
Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Yeah, and but I will say I didn't think that it was too much. It was a little. They slid it in there from time to time, just different references. But she wasn't that bad, and as her character, she wasn't that bad as Catwoman. It wasn't overly. It wasn't overly sexualized to me. A little bit subtle here and there, like a teenager trying
But
to flirt
again,
with you in high school.
yeah, but like I said, that's the character. And if we're gonna make these comic book movies, you gotta stay that's my gripe. Just stay true to the characters. If you're gonna make it, if you're gonna do a little too much sexualized, then yes, we probably should put a little, better rating on the movie, and that will help the parents get gear ready for it. Like, ooh, we'll wait until you're a little bit older to go see it together. Let's just stick to the animated together. Like, that'll help parents for sure. But in all to that guy's comment, I would say it's a comic book movie. Look at the characters.
And it's back at you, Brittany. But yeah, of course, I was looking at Catwoman and I was thinking, oh yeah, she's hot as hell or whatnot. When I was saying I don't think of those things, I wasn't thinking of her being over sexualized at that time. I
because
didn't
they did their job. Because they
Right.
did their job. You
Right.
read the comic book and you were like, holy hell, that is Catwoman on the screen now.
Right, but Batman was just sexualized as Catwoman was. Those costumes were incredibly chiseled. There was no
The
work
nipples!
back then.
The bat nipples!
They definitely had bad nipples, and I
Did
don't
they? I know I
understand.
wasn't though. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it, but I had
They
to.
did. Yeah,
Oh.
don't
Bad
know
nipples.
why. Don't know why that's
Because the
there.
nipples
That's
mixed the
weird.
suit.
Hold up. I think I have. I'm trying to get something ready. All right, so going
Am I
on to the
muted?
next comment. No, you're not, Chad. Go ahead. You got something to say?
Shout out to Shaggy. Shaggy says an innuendo is not the same as straight up talking about sex like they did on the boat. It's not the same as Steve Trevor closing the door and turning off the light. So Shaggy wants to put his 2 cents in there.
Thanks, Shaggy.
I
agree.
Yeah. All right. So
the other thing.
Go ahead.
The other thing, 2 points. I think today's day and age, we are way too sensitive in one in one respect.
Mm-hmm.
Too sensitive.
Yeah.
The other respect, I think parents don't do their due diligence, checking movies out and doing research before they take their kids to the theater. I went to go see Deadpool, which I love, and I've got 5 kids sitting next to me. And what kind of research do the parents do before they took their 5-year-old to see this movie?
Zero.
All they saw was Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable with a child sitting next to me for an adult movie like that. It's rated R, for Christ's sake.
But that's what I'm talking about with the ratings. Like if we're gonna do what staying true to the comic books, and hell, there is a lot of sexual deviancy in the comic book world, then let's put that rating on these movies to where parents can be like, Oh, it's rated R. Okay, let me see why it's rated R. Oh, that's why. Yeah, you don't need to see this.
It's funny though, they won't pay attention. I
They
remember
won't.
going.
I work at GameStop. I worked at GameStop. You can slap a mature rated on shit, and they will be like, Grand Theft Auto will teach you some life lessons. Here you go.
I remember
I've
being
seen
at a
it.
showing of Watchmen, and it's like, and a woman there with her 2 young daughters I went with a buddy of mine. He lost his mind. He's like, she realized there's gonna be blue balls in this movie. Come on.
Marcy, what do you think?
Oh, about all of that? Oh boy.
Hard to follow up blue balls. I know.
It is. No, I do agree though with the comment that innuendo is way different than blatantly talking about sex, which is what they were doing on the boat. And yeah, compared to Batman, it was a different time, as everyone talked about. But there's also a difference of, he's pretty much flat out being like, hey, I want this, and everything just got kind of suggested with other comic book movies. Like, it becomes more of a suggestion than like, hey, we're gonna show this is actually like closing a door and we're gonna go do this. So I feel that's a much different scenario happening than the rest of it.
Awesome. Yeah, so these are all very, very, very good points. And oh man, we got people coming in. So I want to take one quick second break. So in Columbus, there's a 6-foot by like 5-foot picture of Hotshot in the convention center that I drew that the city of Columbus paid for. And I thought that was really cool because it is huge and it's in their convention center. And I am one of 3 comic book artists in the convention center that has that piece, like out of thousands. But then the city paid for Hotshot again, and he's in a parking garage in the city of Columbus, and someone just snapped a picture of it and sent it to me. I didn't know it was up, so we're about to see this all together right now. Yeah, that's awesome. Carmen, come here. Hold up, I got to get the wife.
Oh yeah, Brad. I am enamored with their voice. You should do voiceovers.
So
enamored.
This.
Thank you.
They put it up. They built it. It's downtown in the parking garage.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. It's Hotshot. When you're riding the elevator.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Fresh, yo.
That looks so fucking dope. Oh.
So I was pretty excited about that. No, that's fine. It adds to the excitement. Woo. This a guy, an airbrush artist, a really dope airbrush artist. He messaged me and said, "I recognize that H anywhere, man." I said, "That's what's up."
Congratulations.
Awesome. Yes, that's
Thank
so
you.
freaking huge.
Yeah, congratulations. Like, oh my gosh.
That's very exciting. I'm going to ride that elevator like 17 times in one day. So we are still getting
a picture standing right next to
it. We are getting tons of comments here.
Let's do it.
Jeez. They are talking, man. They are talking. This is a
bring it like comments.
Let's see. Let me get another good one because that last one created some good questions here. So hold up.
And Harley Quinn had her moments of sexual in the animated series. I just want to throw that out there because there is times where she tried to be sexy for Joker, thinking, this is what my daddy want, but that's not what he wanted. Because he would like punch her or kick her ass after she like had a little nightie on or something. So there was definitely times where Harley tried. Right? She still.
There have definitely been guys who watched that when they were in their early teens who were like tried to get their girlfriends to dress up like Harley Quinn from the TV show.
For sure.
The only thing was she had like the top of her costume on still to cover her face, but everything else was woman.
Right, and I'm not
woman.
And I'm not saying it's all perfect or whatnot, but still there's differences because like it's the camera angles, it's the choices that they made of how they showed her moving and things like that. So it's and I use this a lot because I want to make sure that I understand it. It's a male gaze or whatever they still project in these films.
Oh
And
yeah, because they think that's what's gonna sell, man. Fast
Yeah.
and Furious.
Right.
I only knew of Wonder Woman because of her scene in Fast and Furious walking with a bikini. I'm like, who is this person? And I looked it up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's who's playing Wonder Woman. Oh
that's
Lord,
crazy.
I was afraid that they were gonna like really objectify and sexualize Wonder Woman because of how she was in Fast and Furious. Because they literally had a whole slow walking scene that took, I want to say, like 5 minutes.
Well, her plan in that movie was like, I know what I will do. We'll have the bad guy grab my ass.
Hey, you know what? I'm all for this conversation. I get it. Valid points, but I'm sorry. I'm not going to have any shit talking about Fast and Furious on this channel. Fast and Furious is the most amazing action-packed series ever. It will not be denied. Family.
But it's a different movie. It's a different series of movies. It's a different series of movies.
Right.
I mean,
Chad and I have had many conversations about this. But so our next comment is, so Zack Snyder is a shitty director. Looking back, he's made a lot of shitty movies. I don't think Zack Snyder is a shitty director. I think Zack Snyder may need some guidance. I think he may need to be put with the right team to get the best ideas because nobody was complaining about Zack Snyder when 300 came out. 300's amazing. Everybody loved that movie. And to everyone's dismay, I mean, I know it's split. Man of Steel is a really good film. And Zack Snyder had a 5-movie layout for what he was doing. And he was literally doing what they did in the MCU. The Justice League was going to lose. They were going to lose at the end of Justice League. And they were going to come back and win it in Justice League 2. There were going to be a couple movies in between or whatnot. So there was this whole big thing that was going to happen. I'm not great at everything that I do. Like I draw really, really good, but I'm not the best writer. And I may not be the best person for doing dialogue. My inks are not the greatest, but I can color. I can ink and I can color. But just because I can do all these things on a comic book does not mean I do all these things on a comic book. I seek out people that can do it better than me so we can put the best book out possible. And that is probably what Zack Snyder needs to do. Because what's that the movie he did with the fantastic action of all the 5 women fighting and stuff?
Sucker Punch.
Oh my God.
That movie is visually amazing.
Amazing. That's probably all that there is.
No, it is. I don't get to connect with. I mean, I get what they're trying to do with the story, but I get lost on it. So he just needs the right team. A lot of people bash Michael Bay. Michael Bay does make crappy movies, but do you know how many directors try to replicate what Michael Bay does?
What he does? Yep. Mm-hmm.
As an action director, he's fantastic. You can't replicate his action. Nope. But Michael Bay needs to be put with the right team. I don't think anybody's like Lord of the Rings, my man, Peter. I love him. I love those movies, but he could not have made those movies without the right team. So I think that's not. I don't think that's a fair statement to make for him.
But it also plays into accepting help, because I think a lot of the times I saw maybe a couple of articles where no, I don't need any help. Like this is my baby. Like I think that becomes an issue in itself, is that they get in their head, especially with a lot of these nerd movies. They're like, I know about it. Let me put my rendition out. This is my thing. So I think with them seeking help, it's a male pride thing. Not bashing males. I love you guys.
No.
Right? I love you. Yeah. I love you.
Fair.
Don't hurt me, please. You know, it's a prideful thing, and I think that's kind of why Avatar: The Last Airbender, that movie was what it was, because he literally did not seek any outside assistance with that. M. Night Shyamalan has his fame for a reason, don't get me wrong, but with the project that he took on, he's like, oh, this is a very high kid show. My kids seen this show. I'm gonna take it. It's mine. Oh, and it showed what his pride did to that movie. So I don't think it's. I agree. I don't think it's fair to really just keep bashing the director. But on the other side of the argument, the director has to be able to bend and open up his pride to share that experience with other people to make sure it's good. Because you have, like you said with yourself as an artist, you want to put out the best product possible, and you're not the best at every aspect of a comic book. So let me venture out and be that humble. Not all these directors are being humble.
That's a good point, because M. Night Shyamalan did destroy Avatar. He had the roadmap. Everything was laid out to him. It was perfect. He needed to open himself up. So that's a very, very valid point with that. I think, Chad, you want to say something?
2 points. A movie can't be driven alone on action. We all go to see superhero movies and geek movies because of the action. We love that. But if without the story driving that action, to have a reason for the action, that it's like a porn. You got to have the story behind it. And second point, we're talking about needing help. That's the reason why everybody loves The Empire Strikes Back so much, I think, because Lucas didn't direct The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, he wrote it, but he had this team around him and just made arguably the most epic Star Wars movie of the entire saga. Right.
Point.
The first time I've been on with Ryan, quick shout out to you. Your Rogue Scaler you're putting on right now, if anybody hasn't seen it yet, oh my gosh, you are just killing
Scarecrow's coming. Scarecrow's coming.
I saw Scarecrow's face. Was it yesterday or today? That awesome work, Ryan.
Thank you so much, Chad.
Chad, very, very, very good point. I completely forgot about George Lucas, because he's an idea man. He has come up with a great idea. He's come up with a great concept. He's come up with a great base, and he can direct when he opens himself up to allow other people to help him, because he did not on those prequel movies
He
at
didn't
all.
object. Yeah.
And there's a bunch of yes men or yes people around him that just let him, it's his thing. So he's going to do what he wants at the end of the day. But that's a very valid point. Mal?
He was too powerful at that time when he made the prequels. He was a nobody when he made the original trilogy.
Yeah.
When he got to those prequels, everybody just wanted to please him. And I will say this, I would rather watch the prequels now than what Disney put out.
Oh, totally agree. And Mike?
What?
Dude, I need to know where that elevator's at. That shit is dope, bro.
Hell yeah.
Chime in on it, but damn, bro, that's exciting, bro. That's amazing.
Thank you. I gotta get the address myself because I need to go down there and ride the elevator. Mal, what say you? And then Robert.
I actually don't have any comments. I've been kind of going on in the private chat. When somebody says something, I'm like, what? But no, I think just like what has already been said, I just echo everything that has already been said. Working together, teamwork makes the dream work. Sometimes just doing it all by yourself, you get just subpar stuff because you think that you know it all and you're not open to learning. You got to always be open to learning and collaborating and growing and making money together, sharing the pot. That's probably also what it comes down to. This movie's going to make some revenue. Do I really want to split it with more people than what I already have to, kind of deal? Yeah, but just basically everything that everybody has been saying.
Shout out to Brad. He had to bang out. He is part of the Cosmic Geppetto podcast. That's actually where I met him. It is a great podcast as well. You guys should go check it out. They're on Facebook. Check them out on Twitter as Cosmic G Pod. Cosmic G Pod. They are great. They do a lot of cool stuff. They have a lot of branching off podcasts as well. So thanks for joining us today, Brad. Really appreciate you coming out, man. I know we went longer than usual, but there was just some reckless stuff being said in these comments, and they have to be addressed. So Robert, what say you, man?
What's the question again? Because I'm trying to do like 40 different things right now.
Oh, okay. Well, we were talking about Zack Snyder. I think so. They were saying Zack Snyder's a bad director, and I was trying to prove the case that he's not. I think it's a matter of putting the right team around you to make good movies. Because I don't think there's a perfect director. No director has been able to do anything without having the right people. And Midori made a good point of, but that director also has to be open to other opinions and feedback.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think Zack is a terrible director, firstly. And yes, he needs to have a team that's going to work with him and not be a bunch of yes men. I heard someone mention George Lucas, and there's a video where someone was talking about when they went to speak to George Lucas about making a video game, how they presented their vision to him, and he was like, well, I want to do this. And they're like, okay. It's like, no, you can't do that. If you have a vision for the thing, you work with the creator. As someone that is a creator, someone's like, hey, I want to make a video game with the Star Guardian. Cool. What you got? Well, I don't like this. Can we do this? And you work with them. Because at the end of the day, you get stuff like, people don't like the prequels for Star Wars. I think the prequels are fine, but then you get stuff like that. And you get stuff like Batman v Superman, where it's like very divisive because Zack had a vision and no one was like, hey, maybe we should try this. Or maybe we should try this. Maybe you can take this out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you have to have a team of people that you trust, and you really need to have a team of people that just won't go along with whatever you want because of who you are.
Yeah,
they have to be able to put that wall up. Like, no, we're not going to do that. I think that's whack.
Yeah, so like a great example of that I get, and again, it is George Lucas's baby. Before he sold it to Disney, he did whatever he wants with it. It's his, and I respect that and appreciate that. But he made me so mad when they did the cartoon shorts of Star Wars that was done by the creators of Samurai Jack, and these 2-minute, 3-minute clips, 2 seasons of them, like 11 episodes.
They're not canon.
They're not canon. But when they came out, they were. They led into episode 3 perfectly. They explained how General Grievous got hurt. They showed Mace Windu was the greatest lightsaber user that we'd ever seen. They showed the Force being used in a way we've never seen the Force being used. They made me care about Anakin, freaking Vader, whatever the hell, Anakin. They made me care about him. They showed us part of the Jedi trials that we had never seen before to understand like how hard it is to be a Jedi. They documented and showed Anakin's fall from grace. So when he is relentlessly killing some children, it actually makes sense because they showed us in this cartoon. But then George Lucas said, no, that's not canon. I'm going to give you this really drawn out and boring government show called The Clone Wars and CGI.
It's like Star Wars CNN.
Like season 3.
Basically. The Senate, midichlorians, Senate, midichlorians.
C-SPAN Star Wars.
Right. But I definitely agree. No child should be seeing Deadpool. I know me and my brothers, we didn't take any of our kids to go see Deadpool because we knew what Deadpool was. And the fact that I'm just skimming these comments, but that's the fact that parents were taking their kids to see Deadpool because Deadpool's on shirts and he says chimichangas and he's got tacos in his damn hands. It's ridiculous. You do need to research this stuff.
You have to. Like it's not fair.
The re-release of Deadpool 2, what was the Christmas one?
With
it skirted the line,
but Savage.
With Fred Savage. Oh my gosh. I love Princess Bride, first of all. And that whole recreation, that was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
I had to dip out, but thanks for having me, bro. This was great.
All right, man. Let everybody know where they can find you so they can see your awesome art that you've been posting.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook right now. Facebook, I'm doing quarantine art. So I'm doing like the whole Batman Rogues gallery right now. I got 9 up. I got about 5 more to go. You can vote on them. I put a vote up like every other day when I post one, and you can vote on it, and then I'll draw it. However many votes get, that'll be the person that'll be drawn.
And through the vote, I want to see Man Bat.
What is it?
Give me Kirk Langstrom.
Which one?
Man Bat. I want to see Kirk Langstrom.
See, I was
I'm up there.
debating on this. See, because there's like 3 creatures. There's Clayface, Killer Croc, and Man Bat. And I'm like, I don't feel like drawing 3 creatures.
You could do Clayface and still draw 3 creatures.
Now.
It's true.
Scarecrow will be up tomorrow. But there'll be a vote for the next one. But right now, my Catwoman right now is based off Zoe Kravitz. So
Okay, all right, yeah.
Zoe Kravitz face. So
Catwoman's dope.
but other than that, I'm on Facebook. You can catch me there on Instagram.
Hey,
Thank you
Ryan.
so much.
No problem. Hey,
I'm a
Ryan,
fan.
I hope you are doing all those prints, those images, coloring them and backing them up as prints. So when comic book conventions come back, you have a table.
I am.
Dang.
All right.
Dad mode. Oh my god. I said, wait, let me save something, Dad. Okay, Dad. All right.
Knowledge has been dropped.
Hey, they look good.
Thank you so much.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you.
Have a great night, guys. Take care.
All right, see ya.
You too, man.
I forget how late it is for you guys. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Late.
She's in China right now.
I'm in Korea.
Oh, Korea. My fault. Oh,
What time is it?
It is 10:56, so it's 11 a.m. here. Sunday. I'm in Sunday.
She's in Sunday.
I'm in the day ahead. Good times.
And then there were 6. We're down to 6. What else we got in these comments? All right. Yeah, so Ryan really does. So as long as he's doing that, I'm happy because he's been putting out some great work. That's easy intro into his very first comic book convention and set up and go.
Wait a minute. He's never had a table at a convention?
No.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people it's review.
It's a lot of work to do a table.
It is. Hey, Marcy knows. Marcy has helped me out at the table, and she's just flawless at it. Chad has helped me out at the table. Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Table work is crazy. Well,
when I met you, it looked crazy.
I can't speak for anybody else's table, but my table gets crazy.
We're getting crazy in Cleveland, man. I want to do that again.
Oh, yes. I can't wait for comic book conventions to come back. But also, what somebody's going to stop doing, you're going to stop disrespecting Ben Affleck. All right? So, when this, all right, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is a personal friend of mine. We did a movie together.
Yes, they did. Ben Affleck is a damn good Batman, and he is a victim. He is a victim of the writing they gave him in Batman v Superman and in Justice League.
I agree.
Agreed.
I think he
love his Batman.
Yeah, I do enjoy his Batman, but Mal is like fuck all of which are
No.
Why, Mal?
Or nothing.
Why
Bale or nothing?
Hey,
Bale, we were friends.
I know how to beat Christian Bale.
I said what I said.
I know how to beat Christian Bale. I got the 3 ways. Give him a bad knee, a lunges, and offer him a family. And he'll quit.
Damn.
He'll quit being Batman. My Batman doesn't quit.
Hey, Batman
doesn't quit.
Batman can be a dad and Batman at the same time.
Bat dad.
He can change a diaper and kick bad guy butt.
That's why criminals. That's why criminals don't fear him. I've never
Is
had
he in rehab though right now?
Wow.
Oh God. Hey. If he
Just
is,
saying.
hey, if
My
he is,
Batman
I'm
didn't
sorry.
have that issue. I'm just
Hey. Look, that's because your Batman is a dick. He's a dick on set. Nobody likes him.
Your Batman needed throat lozenges for his deep dark voice.
He also got beat up by while Heath Ledger. While Heath Ledger was the best acting Joker in my opinion, he's also the Joker that can't fight, and he beat Batman up. So,
I mean,
No, he really did though.
Dang, Mel,
With a
I'm
knife.
still your friend. Mel, I'm still your friend. I'm just letting you know.
Thank you.
So how many people are willing to give what's his name, Patterson? a chance as Batman?
Fuck no. Hell no.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
Oh,
No.
I am.
No.
I'll give it a shot.
No. Robert, stop
Number,
this.
I'll give it a shot.
Stop this foolishness.
He's like,
Wait,
no.
wait, wait,
He's like,
no.
no.
A vampire as Batman. Now a
Mel-
vampire as Batman.
Mel
He couldn't act
speaketh.
in Twilight.
Speaketh.
He's not going to act in Batman. I don't care how many years pass.
Water for the elephants. I mean, no. I don't think he. No.
Like, I guess
I'll give him a
Batman has
chance.
that level.
But he's
He has
actually a
that
really
level.
good actor.
Yeah, he's
I
a
mean,
good
yeah,
actor.
he's a good actor. I'm not putting him in that Twilight box. All right. Yes, he was that shiny little vampire. All right, that is a thing. But as my Batman, no. I want you. You can't give me Affleck and then go to fucking Patterson. You just can't. Yeah,
Look,
fuck. You
point
just
out
can't.
how Patterson would be a good Batman.
Patterson should have came before.
I'm willing to
Patterson
give
should not come at all.
I'm willing to give Patterson a chance. Outside of his Twilight movies, the dude can act, and I'm interested in seeing what he brings to the Bat costume. But I also gave Affleck a chance. I also gave the dude that can't speak a chance, and of course Michael Keaton got a chance because I absolutely love him. And you can't beat the '60s Batman because he's foundation. He's what got this shit popping,
Right.
or whatnot. But hold up. I'll probably watch, but still hold a slight grudge.
I laid out
He said, "What, Chad?"
I laid out to Mike how Patterson would be the fantastic Batman.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Tell him, Chad. Tell him.
What if Patterson wasn't Bruce Wayne? What if this is the Batman's dead or hurt, and this is the Nightwing Batman? This is Dick Grayson. Patterson would be an awesome.
That would be that. Okay, I agree with that one.
That would make
But we need more Nightwing then. We need more before he becomes Batman. You can't just throw him in the Batman role and then
part of the movie.
Nightwing before Batman would be it's needed. Nightwing is such a badass character.
Nightwing's dope.
Patterson movie.
Well, see, I think that you don't need to do that because us who've already read it, and the people that never read
what did
it,
we say
it doesn't matter.
What did we say earlier about the buildup of DC? They are horrible at their buildups.
Actually,
but they don't need to do that though. No one has ever needed to create a solo movie before a team movie because we've had several. We've had 2 Avengers cartoons without solo Avengers cartoons. We've had a Justice League cartoon without a Green Lantern cartoon. We've had a Green Lantern Corps animated movie. The X-Men, technically they could have had solo X-Men movies because they were kind of doing a thing before they joined the X-Men in some cases. So you don't have to do that, but if they decided to, I mean I wouldn't be mad. But if they didn't, I wouldn't be mad at that either.
So my thing with DC or Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers runs DC really, is that they've never had to introduce characters or stories. Because guess what? And I can admit this being the Marvel fanboy that I am, DC's characters are more well-known than Marvel characters. It is just as of recently, because of the films, we know about the other characters. I don't need Superman's origin because we've seen Superman's origin. We know it's Superman's origin.
I swear to God, if I see that, oh my goodness.
Batman's origin, we know it.
Batman,
origin,
if I see,
I will find
Batman,
him.
If I swear, bro.
So
Martha.
These are things that are in general. These are things that are in our general knowledge because our culture has become a geek pop culture. So you can literally just make a movie, just like I literally.
But they're afraid.
They are, but I think DC needs to make their movies just like their animated films. If they just would have took their first animated movie and made that their live action movie and just put that out, everybody would love them. They would be on par with Marvel, if not surpass Marvel, because everyone loves the animated flicks. There's like
that's one gripe I would say. They would easily surpass them. I mean, Marvel is good, yes, but if they would stick to the nature of DC, man, they would have just tumbled over Marvel. I'm sorry. They would. They would. They would. But again, even though everything, it seems like, being a geek or nerd culture is becoming a thing, that's not how these companies are looking at it. We're still like the minority to them. That's why they do the foolery that they do in these movies to cater to the other people. They don't cater to us nerds for some reason, who will
Well,
They don't.
gladly pay for a 2-hour movie. I would.
they don't need to cater to us, and for that exact reason, like you just said it, they don't need to cater to us because they know we're going to spend our money on it. We're not this, and Haley just said it. The difference is
not even.
right, but Haley just said the difference is that they want to get more people. They're after the
Yeah.
casual fan. That casual
Right.
dollar, when you put it together, is more than the hardcore fan. They
But
got
if
they
you
know
do
we're
it bad, if you do it bad though, us as nerds are gonna be like, wait, bro, what comic book are y'all reading? Like we're gonna get to a point where we're not gonna spend the money. Then you're losing us as an
Well,
audience.
that's where I am. I'm not like Mike. I'm not going to go to every movie.
Yeah, me neither. Hey, good job, Chad. Yes.
Another Sony Spider-Man movie. I will not go see another Sony Spider-Man movie. I did not go see Suicide Squad.
Hey,
I pick and choose my movies now.
Yeah, you have to.
I pick and choose my movies, but I also have this thing to where I can't bash something or talk about it if I haven't seen it. And there's a lot of people that will bash and judge a movie before they've even seen it, and that helps. Like I don't know, man. It just creates a toxic culture, I think. But like Chad, you're not one of those people. If you're not interested in it, you're just not interested in it. You just keep it moving.
They can pay for it.
You know where I think the studios could use people that have read this stuff is to just make these movies, because guess what happens? We have been wanting to see this, so we tell our parents, oh yeah, this is coming out, it's going to be dope. Or we tell them, oh yeah, so this person that showed up here, yeah, they got their own little blah, 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 blah. Like with something like Black Panther. Yeah. No one had ever seen Black Panther, so when he showed up, guess who's getting all these phone calls? Us. Because people that didn't see it, like, who is this Black Panther? What is he doing? And now all of a sudden, this movie makes $1 billion.
Sure. That is a small percentage because, again, I know I've had my fair share of debates with people who think the movie is what it is, as far as this is what happens. No, if you picked up a book, you would know. You know, like that. And as far as the nerd, that was one of my gripes as far as going to the movies with someone who has not read or don't know anything about it, because then you're sitting there trying to explain it, and it's like, I'm a teacher in real life, bro. I clocked out, bro. I don't want to keep. I gotta teach you about this too. Yo, pick up a book.
Lord of the Rings is another good example of that too.
Oh my god.
Because I've never read the books.
You have to explain the hell out of it, because everyone else sees it as, why are they walking so much? Why is this movie just walking? Okay, well, there's more to it than walking. Well, I don't see it. So you have to go through this whole 3-hour spiel just to cover one movie, and then by the time you're done with that one, they're like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Lord of the Rings is amazing. I'm showing you my Lord of the Rings play. I'm showing you my Lord of the Rings play set right now.
Such a nerd.
That's a 3-foot tall Balrog over there fighting Gandalf, saying "Thou shalt not pass." I absolutely love Lord of the Rings. It's more than walking.
Mike, did you tell me?
It is definitely more than walking.
Are you? Do you play with those things? Yeah. Adventure Time. Okay.
Look, well, my perception of playing with them is different. I put them in different poses from time to time.
Right. So, but you never do the voices. You don't be like, I'm Ganondorf, I'm gonna move over here.
You can't pose a toy without doing the voice. You got to do a voice when you're posing a toy. I mean,
I demand a video. I demand a video. I demand a video. I need a video of you removing these figures and doing it. Oh, Chad, you too. Oh, Chad, in here too.
What you got there, Chad? Oh, you got the R2. I see you.
You know what?
Exactly.
Hey, you know what?
It's toy time. Bam.
Oh my God.
They're everywhere.
That's like a Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Huh?
Are we gonna do toy time? Really?
Yes, Marcy.
Marcy.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know if you see them.
Ooh.
Okay, I see you.
Ooh.
I can't own those type of things because I will play with them.
Okay, all right.
Oh, there's one
That's
my
why you
dog
get
will eat
two.
them.
Get two.
Yeah.
Oh my
Or you
god.
just leave it in the box.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's all.
Chad. I like
Classic.
that. Is that, bruh, the shredder?
Man.
We
Oh,
out
the
here.
It's super
arsenal.
cool. And
All right, I'm done. We out
That's
here. We out
pretty
here.
cool though. That's really pretty cool.
yeah, my super cool. The darkness one you can't see.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I don't have toys. Never
all right.
mind, let me
Well,
play
I
with
think
toys.
we're a bunch of kids. We're a bunch of children. I'd like to thank everybody for coming on to the show today. I'd like to thank everybody that sat here this whole time listening to us, making comments and giving their feedbacks and stuff. Thank you to the new friends of this extra episode of the Good, Bad, Nerdy that we have. Hopefully you will see more of them on these episodes. You're definitely going to see Brittany more because her and I have to talk some video game stuff on Good, the Bad, Nerdy. And this is a great episode. I want to shout out everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. Please give us a share, give us a follow on the Good Bad Nerd. Everybody, make sure you respond to people in the comments because there's tons of them. There's actually too many right now. I mean, no, actually,
Wait, what's the link?
the link for Good Bad Nerd.
Because I was on the page. I'm like, yo, can't I find it?
Oh, okay. I will send it to you. Don't worry.
Suck my life.
Oh, I will save you.
Yeah.
But I've got to clock out because I got some more stuff that I need to draw.
Lies.
As
He's
always.
gonna play with his toys.
Don't tell me.
Working out finish up that head case.
That's fine.
Hey.
I got rigs to finish.
Stop telling my business to the streets. But
You're right.
thank you.
You're right. How dare I?
Enjoyed it so much. I hope you all had a good time. We will be back Tuesday. I will be back with a new episode of Chat and Draw. And we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and another one on Saturday. And then I will also get with these guys and gals again and figure out a date for the next movie. Because the next movie we're going to be talking about is Aquaman, I believe.
Aquaman.
Yes, Aquaman.
Yep.
We're going through all the DC films. So it's definitely been a good time. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. And there's a crowd clapping us out, everybody. Good night.